Welcome, friends. Today, we're doing another fragrance rotation video for the week ending the 21st of September, 2025. Marvellous. That is right, my friends. Once again, I have returned to you, this time with another fragrance rotation video. And this week's rotation is very interesting. It's very interesting. There's a couple of rascals in here that haven't been used as often recently as maybe they could have. I don't think there's anything here that I haven't worn before, but there's a couple of perfumes here that are lesser spotted, if you will. It has rained this week, and especially yesterday when it seemed as though the rain was never going to stop. Anyway, let us start. And on Monday I wore this. It's M7 Oud Absolu. The Oud Absolu. This was the re-release of M7 from 2000. I want to say 2011. Was it 2011 it came out? It was. Can't remember who made the original M7. Was it? I think it was Jacques Cavalier. Was it not? Jacques Cavalier, famously, him and Alberto Marias, that's right. Famously, the quote-unquote first use of oud in a Western perfume, or at least the first time it was announced, because I do also have Balenciaga Pour Homme, which was apparently, according to Michael Edwards, the actual first use of oud in a perfume. Now, I don't know about that because I'm not Michael Edwards. So if Michael Edwards says it's true, it would. I think I'm likely to bow to his greater experience. Like, excuse me, whilst I hydrate. Lovely perfume, brilliant reformulation. Actually, I love the mandarin orange at the top. I love a good mandarin kind of orange, a little bit syrupy, it's a little bit sweet, a little bit orangey. It's not orangey to the point where it's like, ugh, orange. When something's out now orange, it kind of puts us off. I don't like it, but this is lovely. It also has the notes or accords written on the side: mandarin, bois de oud, patchouli, cyste, and myrrh. It's got cyste, which I think means labdanum, cistus labdanum. It doesn't mean it's got a cyst. I get a lot of myrrh from this, and I get a lot of patchouli, little bit of oud, and some mandarin too. It's just a fucking brilliant designer perfume. I do have the original, but you can see that I really enjoy this. I enjoyed it for a long time before it was a darling in the fragrance community. Perhaps I'll do a comparison video between old and new. That would be quite cool. Anyway, let's go on to Tuesday. On to Tuesday, I think this might be my most worn so far this year. With two, maybe three, I don't know. This is Tabac Rouge by Phaedon. This is, I think, the original presentation. I love this stuff so much. It's so good. It's so fucking good. It's in the style of Tobacco Vanille, but it says, I've never noticed before, but it says Turkish blend there before. I have never noticed that before. Never. Not that I can remember. Maybe I don't know. I could be wrong. This came out in 2013, a full 6 years after Tobacco Vanille. I think it definitely was involved in that sort of there was a craze where perfume houses had to have their own Tuscan leather, they had to have their own Tobacco Vanille, they had to have their own Aventus, they had to have their own this, that and the other. I actually think this is just the best version of that. It's got this real sourness from the tobacco. In a lot of note listings, it doesn't actually list tobacco, which I always found a bit outrageous. There's a lot of cinnamon going on in here as well. A bit of ginger, which kind of keeps it like fresh, stops it from getting goopy and gooey. And some honey as well. You can't go wrong with honey. Honey perfumes, just, I'm going to do a top 5 or top 10 if I've got 10 honey perfumes, because it just doesn't get the exposure that it should. Like, I've fucking, this stuff's so good. So good. No idea what the modern version's like. They changed the bottles. As you can see, this one has got pock marks all over it. It's got bad skin, friends. It's got bad skin. But that's just because it's a cheap wrap over a bottle. So I don't care, though. I'd rather the perfume smell good than the bottle look good, because I'm not on Instagram. Okay, next up, Wednesday, the first of the perfumes that doesn't get much of an outing these days, but should. And this is Vintage Jules. Jules by Christian Dior. Jules. I remember Scentland, the land of scent. He reviewed this and he was like, you must pronounce it properly. Jules. It's not Jules, Jules. And this is a terrific perfume. I absolutely love this stuff. Made by Jean Martel. If I remember correctly, Jean Martel's the one who went nose blind but still kept making perfumes because he was fucking class. You know what I mean? It's he could just remember what everything smelled like and how it would work together. And he wrote a book about everything, if I'm remembering the right person. Jura Rose told us that. So if it's not true, blame him. This is a very kind of aromatic 80s, late 70s kind of perfume. But it is awesome. It's meant to be named after like a male pimp or like a player, you know? From France, wearing like a leather jacket and very masculine, smoking cigarettes and stuff like that, and all very, very French cool sort of thing. Lavender, carnation, get a lot of carnation, a vintage floral for men, you know. Great fragrance note that doesn't get utilised anymore. Oak moss, a lot of oak moss, green, artemisia, leather kind of thing. I think I've reviewed this, but if I haven't, I will, because it's a really good perfume. Don't buy the modern one. So green, so nasty, so drunk Russian dad's breath, you know, really breathy and green and bad, and I don't like that. Anyway, let's move on. Next up is an absolutely exceptional perfume, which does, I think, take its inspiration from M7, or M7 takes its inspiration from this. I can't remember which one came first, but this is from Maître Parfumeur et Gantier, and this is Bois de Turkey. And if you don't believe us, there she blows. It's on the bottom. It's a sticker. That is how you save money on bottles, my friends. Honestly, I promise you, it says Bois de Turkey. There it is. Anyway, great bottles. I love these. They changed them. Don't like the new bottles. Big and stupid. Get the red glass in. I think the red glass might cost a fortune, like. But I'm not a glass expert, regardless of the rumours. This came out in 2008, so it actually came out 6 years after M7. So there we are. Apparently the perfumer is Jean-Paul Millet Lage, or Lage. Don't know. Very ambery. Big mandarin orange again. Myrrh, patchouli, but this has got bay. It's got like bay leaf in it, you know, and it's got an iris note in it. It's very smooth. It is. Does it smell better than M7? I don't know that it smells better than M7, but it certainly smells more expensive. Now, whether you think that makes it automatically smell better, that's whatever you think. Maybe I'm just being biased because I loved fucking M7 back in the day, and I still love it. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. A lot of myrrh in here. Went through a big myrrh phase. Could still be going through a myrrh phase. I get like cola from myrrh sometimes. And the West Indian Bay kind of plays on that as well. This is such a good perfume. I'd be surprised if somebody didn't like this. It's a little bit spicy. It's a little bit fruity. It's a little bit syrupy. It's thick. It's got some incense, so it's got like a little bit of an edge to it, just a little bit, but it's very smooth with the iris too. It's a marvel. It's a marvel of perfume. I don't know how they do it. I'm in awe, shocked even, not stunned into silence as you can hear, but still, what a perfume! Really, really good house. That nobody gives them the love. They mustn't be sending out free bottles like, but I've got plenty of them. proper high-end perfume house like. Okay, next up we have a discontinued gem, and you will know this. I would have thought you will have certainly heard of the house, but this is For Him by Narciso Rodriguez, the original. There are still some of the flankers out there, but they discontinued the original. What did they do that for? Famously, this smells like wet concrete. Which I get. I actually get wet concrete, right? So concrete when it's just being like poured out and like, you know, it's like drying out. But I also get another facet of this where I get the dry concrete that's being rained on. I know that sounds like a very pedantic and small sort of like difference to make, but there is something in here which is wet that then becomes dry, right? And then when the dry thing is then made wet again, you know? No jokes about your ma this time. This is absolutely sensational. It's a Francis Kirkjohn, and you wouldn't believe he'd be able to make something like this when he's producing the shit that he is for Dior. And I don't care how well they sell, I really don't like the stuff he's making for Dior. Yeah, I'm sure he's hamstrung by what they expect from him from above, because that would be Demachy followed by Kirkjohn making terrible things for the house, and they're both very good perfumers in the day. But I'm pretty sure they're also hamstrung by ingredients and all that sort of thing as well, which is unfortunate. But this is one of his best. It's violet leaf and musk. Get some dusty, dry earth. It's more of a feeling of being down by the earth. You know, like down on the ground, like concrete is. Concrete's always attached to the ground, you know, at some point. So you don't have like concrete like blowing around in the wind because it's fucking heavy as shit, you know? So this is definitely worth hunting out. It's one of those vintage perfumes. I'm not sure what the prices are, but I can almost guarantee you that pound for pound or dollar for dollar, it is worth what they're asking for compared to today's modern designer perfumes. So performance is nuclear as well. Just I kind of feel like the best's behind with friends. I kind of feel like that's certainly in the designer space. I don't want to be maudlin or fucking negative or cynical, but I find myself being that way. I have to fight my have to fight my nature. Next up, the second or the third of the perfumes that I don't usually like rock out too often, although you wouldn't believe it from the fill level. This is Vetiver Oriental by Sir Glutens. This is, I mean, I've talked about this before. I don't think I've reviewed it. I have watched Ben from the channel Talking Sense talk about this. I've watched his review about 10 times. He's on Les Odorants now, and this is just a fucking brilliant perfume. It's so good. It's such a different vetiver. It's from 2004. It was obviously made by Christopher Sheldrake. It's dark chocolate, so it's like it's not sweet at all from the chocolate, but there is a little bit of sweetness in there, but you know it's not coming from the chocolate. It's very hard to explain to people how and why that could be the case. You know, but when you smell it, you just know the sweetness is coming from something like Iris or the Amber Accord, or maybe even something else in there is bringing the sweetness. There is the greenness. It is quite green, so it's almost like coca beans on the vine, if that makes sense. Which I'm not sure it does, but bollocks to you. An absolutely wonderful perfume, and I've got quite a few of these, so I'm glad I've backed this up. For a perfume I don't wear that often, I've actually seemed to have worn it quite a lot. I've worn quite a lot of it, and then you keep remembering these are 50ml bottles, so you don't have to wear, like, literally the bottle will go down at twice the rate 100ml bottle will. You know what I mean? You need to be careful. And last but not least is the final perfume. The final perfume and my perfume of today, and this is a perfume that Pradi reviewed, and I said I was going to wear it And then I didn't, so I wore it today instead. And this is Ambre Russe by Parfum d'Empire. Another house that people don't talk about enough. This is an absolutely sensational perfume. Why don't people talk about this sort of house and this perfume anymore? It used to get quite a lot of talk in the fragrance community, but obviously not anymore. Vodka, champagne at the top. I do get the champagne quite a bit. I get a little bit of leather, a little bit of smoke from the tea. And then I get some kind of like benzoine, vanillic kind of amber lurking in there with a little bit of like spiciness from the cinnamon. It's not like black pepper sort of spice, but it's like, it's a spiciness, you know? And it's a wonderful creation, and it's a wonderful house. It really is. But this has been my fragrance rotation, friends. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope I will see you next time. Goodbye.